aerial connective tissue is found between the skin and muscles. Okay, now the second is the aerial connective tissue. Okay, connective tissue, second types of a connective tissue. There are many lot of type of connective tissue, but just now we are discussing about the aerial connective tissue. Okay, which are present in between the skin and muscles. Okay, these tissue are present between which two? Skin and muscles. Between them there is a presence of connective tissue, which is said as an aerial connective tissue. Around blood vessels, nerves, and in the bone marrow. Okay, it is also present around bone vessels, nerves, and the bone marrow. Okay, which are very necessary and important part of our body. It fills the space inside the organ, support the interior organ, and help in the repair of tissue. Okay, it fills the space between the organ. Okay, inside the organ. Okay, there is a space. Okay, that can be filled with this connective tissue, aerial connective tissue. With the help of aerial connective tissue, the space which are present between the organ or inside the organ, that can be fulfilled by the aerial connective tissue, and which are very important and supportive to the internal organ which are present in our body. Okay, for that it is very supportive and helpful for repairing a tissue. Okay, it is very important for repairing a tissue which are repaired. Okay, which are very damaged. In body we know it very well that lot of tissue get defected. That defected tissue can be repaired with the help of these connective tissues. Where are fats stored in our body? Fat storing adipose tissue is found below the skin and between the internal organ. Okay, now the second question arises that where the fat? Okay, in our body we know it very well that there is a presence of a fat, but that fat are stored where? Okay, that is also a amazing and important question. Okay, that fat can be adipose tissue. Okay, adipose tissue found below the skin and internal organ. Okay, adipose tissue which are found below the skin and internal organ that store the fat. The fat which are present in our body that can be stored by adipose tissue. So the role of adipose tissue is to store a fat, okay, which are present in a body or between the skin and internal organ. It is placed between skin and internal organ. The cells of this tissue are filled with the fat globules. Okay, the cell, we know it very well that in a tissue there is a presence of a cell. Now the cell which are present in adipose tissue are filled with the fat globules. Okay, the cell which are present in the tissue, adipose tissue, that are filled with the fat globules. Okay, with the fat globule these cells can be filled. Okay, so in adipose tissue the cell which are present, okay, that are filled with the fat globules. Now the storage of a fat also let it act as an insulator. Okay, yeah, that the storage of a fat, the fat which are stored in the adipose tissue, that is also act as an insulator. Okay, the role it play like a insulator, they will play the role. Okay, so this was the aerial connective tissue and adipose tissue function and importance in our body. Okay, functioning and speciality in our body. Now the next is muscular tissue. Muscular tissue. Muscular tissue consists of the elongated cell. Okay, in a muscular tissue there is a presence of elongated cell. Cells which are present are long. Okay, and also called muscle fiber. Okay, which we say it as a muscle fiber. Okay, that is also known as muscle fiber. And in muscle tissue there is a presence of a cell which have a size and the shape of elongated. Okay, their shape and size was elongated and is known as a muscle fiber, in which we say it as a muscle fiber. This tissue is responsible for movement in our body and This tissue, which tissue? Muscular tissue, okay, is responsible for the movement in our body. In our body, we know it very well. We are moving lot of and functioning and working. Okay, for the functioning and working of a body, muscular tissue, okay, which are present in a body, play an important role. Play an important role for the movement. Okay, for the movement, muscular tissue are very important. Okay, whenever movement is seen in our body, okay, muscular tissue get contracted as well as relaxed. Okay, and due to which the body structure can be designed and can be flexibly adjust. Okay, flexibly body can change its shape because of muscular tissue which are present in a body. So during the functioning and working, muscular tissue get contracted as well as relaxed. Okay, due to which we can see that we are flexibly move. We can able to flexibly move. We means what? Human beings or animal and man. Muscles contain special protein called, in a muscle there is a presence of special protein which we say it as a contractile protein. Okay, which we say it as a contractile protein. Okay, the muscle, in a muscle there is a special protein which is said to be a contractile protein which contract and relax to cause movement. Okay, just now we have discussed that in a muscle, okay, there is a presence of a protein, okay, which we say it as a contractile muscle and which can be easily contracted and relaxed. Okay, during the movement of a body, the protein which are present in a muscle, okay, get contracted and relaxed, and due to which the movement can be seen by the particular body. The body get moved, okay, and can able to easily move, okay, due to which contraction and relaxation can be seen by the body. Now here you can see that nuclei is present, stressors, okay, that is also present. Now the second is spindle shaped muscle cell. Okay, here you can see that there is a presence of spindle cell muscle cell which are present in it. Now nucleus is also present, as you can see in a structure that is a presence of a nucleus. Okay, same way the structure is like a spindle shape and muscle cells which can be seen in between that. In between that you can see that muscle cells are present. Same way in a you can see that nuclei is present as well as stressor is present. Okay, so these two was the structure of a straighted muscles and smooth muscle. Now the third is cardiac muscle. Okay, in a cardiac muscle you can see that stressors are present and nuclei are present. Okay, so one by one you can see in a first straighted muscle, nuclei is present in between them and stressors are present. As well as in a spindle shaped muscle cells are present as well as nucleus are present in a B, which we say it as a smooth muscle. Same way in a third cardiac muscle. C. In a cardiac muscle you can see that there is a presence of tractions as well as nuclei, okay, which are present in the tissue. We can move some muscles by conscious will. Okay, by the conscious will, by voluntarily. Voluntarily means what? We can move some muscles by conscious will. Means what? That we can able to move a particular muscle with the help of our consciousness. Okay, by our own. Okay, by our own we can able to move our muscle. Muscles present in our limb move when we want them to and stop when we so decided. Okay, for example, the muscles which are present in our limbs, okay, can be moved by our own decision. by our own decision, we can able to move our limbs. Okay, to and stop. To means what? Okay, further and backward, as well as we can able to stop it easily by our own. So muscles which are present in a limb can be moved by our own decision. So by a decision we can able to move it easily. Okay, so it is under control of a human being. Such muscles are called voluntary muscles. That muscles which are voluntarily by the particular body is known as voluntary muscle. Okay, so we say it as a voluntary muscle. So from this we can say that what is voluntary muscle? A muscles which can be controlled or under control of a body and which can be easily moved by the body, okay, by own decision. That muscle or such muscles are said to be a voluntary muscle. These muscles are also called skeletal muscle as they mostly attach. The muscles also known as skeletal muscles to the bone. Kya? The muscles which voluntary muscles which are said to be a skeletal muscle because it is directly connected or attached with the bone. With the bone, these muscles are connected. So, this muscle is also known as voluntary muscle as well as skeleton muscles. Okay, so skeleton, why we say it as a skeleton muscle? Because this muscle is directly connected to a bone, and if the muscle is directly connected to the bone, then such muscles are said to be a skeleton muscle. So, voluntary muscles, okay, which are under control of a human beings or a particular body, okay, that muscles are also connected with the skeleton with the bone. So we say it as a skeleton muscle and help in the body movement, and which are very important for the movement of body. Okay, if we want to move our body, okay, we have to decide it our own, and due to which the muscle get contracted as well as relaxed. Okay, so with our own decision we are moving. So those muscles, okay, which are under control of a human nervous system or a human beings, okay, that muscles are said to be a voluntary muscle. Okay, so once again I am repeating, what is voluntary muscle? Muscles which are under control of a particular body or respected body, okay, that muscle, okay, which can easily move, contracted as well as relaxed, okay, due to the body decision, okay, due to the decision of a particular body. That muscles are said to be a skeleton or voluntary muscle. Under the microscope, these muscles show alternate light and dark band or striation when strained appropriately. Okay, whenever we are observing it under microscope, okay, at that time we will see a alternate light and dark band in the tissue. Okay, in a muscle, you can see that under this muscle show alternate dark band, light and dark band, okay, in that muscle. As a result, they are also called striated muscle, okay, due to which the presence of a light and dark strand in the muscle, we say it as a striated muscle, okay, because by observing it in a microscope, we are observing light and dark band, okay, and due to the observation of a dark and light band or striation, this muscle is also known as striated muscle, okay. Striated muscles is also said to this. The cell of this tissue are long, cylindrical, unbranched and multinucleate, having many nuclei. Okay, many nuclei are present, not a single, but many nuclei are present in the cell. Okay. So cell is also long, cylindrical, and in cell unbranched are there, as well as in a cell multinuclei are present. So it is said to be multinucleate. Okay. So in the cell of a tissue there is a presence of a long, cylindrical, unbranched and multinucleate having a many nucleus. Okay. The movement of a food in the alimentary canal or the contraction and relaxation of a blood vessel are involuntary movement. Okay. Now, the food which are moving in a alimentary canal or the contraction and relaxation of blood vessel are involuntary movement, okay, which are not under control of a human beings. So it is said to be involuntary movement. Involuntary movement means what? Which are not be handled by the particular body. Okay, it can be processed by its own. Okay, its own it is get processed and do their work. So such movement are known as involuntary movement. We cannot really start them or stop them simply by wanting to do so. Okay. So here it is said that it cannot be controlled by a human being. If the human being want to start, then it can be started, and if human beings can want to stop, then it can be stopped. Okay, that cannot be seen. Okay, this cannot be seen in this movement. So involuntary means what? Which are not under control of a body. So it is said to be an involuntary or involuntary movement. Smooth muscles. Okay, smooth muscle which we have observed. Okay, in a smooth muscle also you are saying that, or involuntary muscle control such movement. So such movement are carried out by the involuntary muscle, okay, which are not under control of a human being. They are also found in the iris of a eyes. Okay, in the eyes of a iris you can see that involuntary muscle like a smooth muscle are present. So iris of a eyes, in a iris of a eyes there is a presence of smooth muscle. In ureter and in the bronchi of a lungs. Okay, these three are the place where these three are the organs which are showing a smooth muscle, or where the smooth muscles are present. Okay, where iris of eyes there is a presence of a smooth muscle. Same way ureter as well as bronchi of a lungs. Okay, three of them have a involuntary muscle which we say it as a smooth muscle. The cell are long with a pointed end. Okay, the cell which are present in this muscle have a shape like a spindle shape, which have a long pointed end, which are having a long pointed end. And uninucleate. Uninucleate means what? There is a presence of only one nucleus. Okay, so we say it as a uninucleate. They are also called unstraighted muscle. Okay, this is also said to be unstraighted muscle. Why would they be called that? The muscles of a heart show rhythmic contraction and relaxation throughout the life. Okay, during the whole life we can observe or we can hear the sound of a contraction and relaxation of a muscles. Okay, of a heart. Okay, heart are beating. Okay, because of which muscles which are present in the heart they get contracted as well as relaxed, due to which we are hearing a sound, okay, of a heartbeat. Okay, heartbeat, which we said a sound of a heartbeat, that is the contraction and relaxation of a muscles of a heart. Okay, heart muscles which are present in a heart, okay, they get contracted as well as relaxed, due to which we are observing or hearing a sound. These involuntary muscles are called cardiac muscle. Okay, these, the muscle which are not under control of a human nervous system or by a human being, that is said to be a cardiac muscle. Okay, the muscle which are present in a heart are said to be a cardiac muscle. Heart muscles are cylindrical, branch and unique. The muscle cells which are present in a heart have a cylindrical shape and it is in branch. As a rest, it have only one nucleus, so it is said to be a uninucleate. Okay, so we say it as a uninucleate. Compare the structure of a different type of muscular tissue. Note their shape, number of nuclei and position of a nuclei within the cell. Okay, so just now we have observed that some of the muscle cells having a multinucleate, okay, in multinucleate means what? Having a number of nuclei, while some of them have a uninucleate, okay, which are having only single nucleus. Okay. Now the new is nervous tissue. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about nervous tissue. All cells possesses the ability to respond the stimuli. Okay. All the cells have an ability to respond towards the stimuli. Stimuli means what? Okay, reaction of a particular activity. However, cells of a nervous tissue are highly specialized for being stimulated and then transmitting the stimulus very rapidly from one place to another within the body. Okay, they are transmitting a stimuli means what action a particular organ have to do towards that stimuli. Okay, that can be transmitted by the one place to another by this nervous tissue. Okay, nervous tissue will transmit a stimuli from one place to another within the body. The brain, spinal cord and nerves are also composed of nervous tissue. Okay, which are the organ present? Nervous tissue. Okay, which are the organ having a nervous tissue? That this, which brain, spinal cord and nerves. Okay, these three of them have nervous tissue. Okay, the cell of this tissue are called nerve cell or neuron. Okay, the cell which are present in a nervous tissue are said to be a nerve cell. Okay, who is said to be a nerve cell? A cell which are present in a nervous tissue. In a nervous tissue, there is a presence of a cell. Okay, that cell which are present in a nervous tissue are said to be a nerve cell or a neurons. A neuron consists of a cell body with a nucleus and cytoplasm. In a neuron, you can see that there is a presence of a nucleus and cytoplasm, from which long thin hair-like part arise. Long thin hair-like structure can be seen. Okay, long thin hair-like structure can be seen, as you can see it. Okay. Called axon. Okay, here you can see that axon. Okay, hair-like structure are there. Okay, which is axon. And many short branched parts are called dendrites. Okay, short parts. Okay, here you can see dendrite also you can see in the figure. Okay, so this is the neuron unit of a nervous tissue. An individual nerve cell may be up to the meter long. Okay, individual nerve cell. Okay, particular nerve cell. Okay, which are present have a what? Okay, they are having a meter long size. Their size having meter long. Many nerve fibers bound together by the connective tissue make up a nerve. Okay. Many of the nerve fibers, they get attached together by the connective tissue, due to which it will form nerve. Nerve impulses allow us to move our muscle. Nerve impulses, okay. Nerve which are impulsing, okay, they allow us to move our muscles when we want to. Okay, whenever we want to move our muscle, okay, the message will be sent from the nerve, and that is message is in the form of impulses, and due to which we are continuously moving our muscles. Okay, the functional combination of a nerve and the muscle tissue is fundamental to most animals. Most of the animals this function can be seen. Okay, easily in a nerve and muscle tissue. This is the combination of a nerve and muscle tissue, and that can be functioning in a most animals. This combination enables animal to move rapidly in the response to stimuli, due to which animal can stimulate towards the stimuli okay, towards the stimuli, animal get reacted, okay, because of the combination of a nerve and muscle. Okay, if the connection is not proper between nerves and muscle, animal can't able to respond towards the stimuli.
Locomotion is a boon to animals. We find plants moving and animals moving as well as locomoting. So what's the basic difference between the two? Well, movement is basically just moving a particular part, while locomotion is translocating from one place to another. Hence we say that plants only move, while animals can carry out both movement as well as locomotion. Well, in our previous video, we have seen how various parts of the body are connected. Now let's have a look as to how animals locomote and how the parts inside our body move. Wait a second, do parts within us actually move? Of course they do. Although we do not notice the organs inside us bouncing, they all move in some or the other manner. Imagine if one fine day the stomach and intestines stop moving. What would happen then? Well, it would be quite bad as the complete digestion process would stop. Similarly, what if our lungs stop contraction and relaxation? Well, needless to say, that would cost us our life. So then, who helps us with these important processes of movement and locomotion? Yes, it's the muscular tissue. As the name says, muscular means made up of muscles. The cells of this tissue are elongated and contain contractile proteins. Now what could that be? Well, when we say movement, it means the muscles themselves have to perform contraction and relaxation, right? So for this, the cells have proteins like actin and myosin, which themselves contract or relax, thus enabling the muscles to do the same. With this, does this mean that the tissue will not have types? Because all muscles are the same, right? Well, actually not. Muscles come in various types depending on their functions. So are we trying to say that muscles in our stomach are different from those in our biceps? Of course they are. The fact that both serve different functions itself suggests that their structure and nature is going to be different. So what are the various types of muscular tissue? Well, for simplicity of understanding, we divide them into three major categories: striated muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. Let's have a look at each type. The first one is called striated muscles. Now, as the name suggests, striated means when we stain this tissue and observe it under the microscope, then it exhibits striations in the form of alternate light and dark bands. Where do we find this type, by the way? We find these striated muscles attached to the bones. Hence, they are also named as the skeletal muscles. Also, when we say attached to the skeleton, it means they help in movement of our hands and legs along with locomotion. So can we say that their action is carried out according to our will? Absolutely. And that is the reason why we also call them the voluntary muscles. Thus, striated muscles are called as skeletal muscles and voluntary muscles as well. These are found to have a typical cylindrical structure due to wrapping of the long muscle fibers together. These are usually unbranched and multinucleate in nature. On similar lines, we have the next type, that is the smooth muscles. These are also called as unstriated and involuntary. Now we can guess their structure and nature from the names itself. Smooth or unstriated because they do not present a banding pattern like the striated ones when stained and observed under a microscope. Instead, they have long spindle-shaped uninucleate cells. And why involuntary? Yes, because their activities are not under our control. So what could be their location now? Well, we find smooth muscles in the stomach, in the bronchi, in the uterus, and also in the iris of eyes. Now let's take a look at the last type, that is the cardiac muscles. Again, the name is enough for us to state its function and location. These muscles are those found in the heart. So the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of our heart or the working of our heart is all because of these cardiac muscles. Although they are involuntary in activity, their structure is like that of striated muscles partially. They are cylindrical and branched but uninucleate in nature. These muscles perform rhythmic contraction and relaxation tirelessly throughout our life.